I said, for me, as you know, a film fan, it kept me on the edge of my seat. I kept waiting for all those pop cultural references and the music, and it was really a cinematic feast for me. So how excited are you about that, the fact that people are going to recognize all those pop cultural references, and which is the one you're most excited about?
Well, it's hard to say. That's what I think is so beautiful about the that there's so many in there. There's something that everyone will connect to. But what Steven has said, and I agree with this, is that the pop culture references are kind of in the side windows, and you can look over and see a lot of things in the background. But if you look straight ahead, it's always the story is right in front of you, and you can always follow the journey of the characters and the main heart of the story. But I feel like the way the pop culture is woven into the story, it doesn't take you out of it, and it just enhances your enjoyment of it. I think the one I'm most excited for is for people to see the Shining experience. We worked so hard on that, and it's going to be a surprise for fans of the book. You know, in the novel we go into other films like War Games and Blade Runner and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So fans were going to be expecting something like that going into another movie, but I don't think they would ever imagine this film. And I'm hoping that it doesn't get spoiled for a lot of people, because I think it's such a shock and such a beautiful moment. You know, even the film grain changes, you know, once you go into the movie to that old 70s film grain. So that makes me so excited, and for me, I enjoyed working on that so much because that was when I got to see Steven Spielberg geek out about one of his heroes. Like the rest of the time, we were all geeking out about him and working with one of our heroes. But for him, you know, he had worked with Stanley Kubrick before and was friends with him, but also just the biggest fan of his work. And our cinematographer, Janusz Kaminski, also one of the biggest Stanley Kubrick and Shining fans you'll ever meet. And watching them recreate shots and camera moves and set dressing, and even like Room 237, they recreated on our sets at Leifson Studios. And so that's, I think, just so beautifully realized and so much fun and unexpected, and not anything I've ever seen in a movie before. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
one.
And I think, you know, you spoke about Janusz Kaminski and about Steven Spielberg. These people have been in the business for so many decades that they're kind of an encyclopedia of cinema. They can recreate anything in a second. Yeah. Was that amazing to you?
Oh, you know, my whole life I've been the one like correcting people about you know, pedantically about movie trivia, and Steven Spielberg is the one who's always correcting me, you know, and everyone else. He just knows, and then he'll always have some extra added detail where he is directly involved. You know, we're talking about Blade Runner, and he says, "Oh, you know, I visited the set of Blade Runner to go talk to Harrison," and you know, we were talking Scarface came up one day, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I shot second unit on Scarface." I'm like, "What?" You know, like you just never. You never expect the person that you're talking to have direct connections to all the movies, but he does, so it's pretty amazing.
And also he retains a candor about all of this. He remains the most enthusiastic, geeky person about it. Isn't that amazing?
I know, and it's so inspiring to me to know that someone could be as accomplished and famous and well respected as him, but still like retain the heart of a child and an enthusiast. You know, he loves movies so much, but he also loves video games, you know, and even though he's played such a big role in creating our popular culture, he is also, you know, a fan of it, and that's how I aspire to be.